So I finally have a minute, and I'm waiting for my son. He's at art class, so I thought this was a perfect time for a little unboxing. And these are generously donated. I bought a few fossils from LakeMichigan Fossils on Etsy, and he sent along some assortment of fossils for my students, Petroski stones, which are essentially fossils. And then there was a collection of those in different colors. So this will be the first time I'm opening them, and I'm really, really excited. So there's some blonde Petroski, some gray Petroski, and a white Petroski. So I'm imagining that these look somewhat different here. And the cool thing about this is that there are fossils in these stones, and you can see them. And sometimes you can actually enhance. Oh, look at that. So this is blonde. It's a little bit like it's got some yellowish coloration to it. And see all of those lines on the stone. Aha, there it is. All those lines on the stone are where there were primordial, very small organisms in calcium carbonate, and you can see kind of the edges of them. And if you etch this out just a little bit with gentle acid, you can see kind of the more lines, which is what originally interested me in these stones, because it's a very physical thing that you can touch and hold, and you can see where the calcium carbonate kind of goes less present. And so I thought that would be an amazing thing for my students to do, because it's so very hands-on. So this is gray. We're going to have a look at that. And then afterwards, I'll have to wrap them all back in the box. Yep, that looks much grayer than the first. So here you can see again those same type of fossils. And these are seen only in that particular area of Michigan. So these are a stone that's very specific to Michigan, and you can see these ancient organisms captured in the stone. There's their pattern. It's really beautiful. And one more, we'll take a look at this one. This is white, so we'll see how that differs. I'm hoping they'll all fit in this box when we're done. Some of these are right on the edge, because I can't just drop them in this but maybe without quite so much pressure. Here's white, and you can see this is extremely white. There's no yellowish in that tone. And it's a little harder to see, but that same pattern is still there, the pattern of those fossils captured in the stone for us to look at all these years later. There you can see some of those kind of octagonal, hexagonal kind of looking shapes there. It's really amazing. And here, just for the sake of completion, we'll take a look at this guy. This is another blondie. Who likes the blondies? I'm so excited to see these. And there's a couple of more. And then string all these together. So here's another. Oh, that is a really blonde color. And there you can see those lines right up close. There's some, almost looks like maybe something with a little bit of iron or rust, iron oxide in there. You can see no two look quite alike, because you're looking at whatever was left there by what came before. Just beautiful. There's one more gray. Have a good look at this guy. Let's see what we got. Oh, wow. Look at that. You can really see those so clearly. Look at those edges, where you can see just the really finite details of these little organisms in the stone captured there. And they're laying down in that part of Michigan, what used to be an ocean. And back then they were inhabiting that ocean. That's really, I just love the detail in this, how you can see right up there those tiny details of these little organisms captured in stone for us to check out all these years later. The next one that I'm opening up here is a favicite, and it's crystallized. I'm going to open it up here. There's a little something else inside. This says, "Watch me sparkle in the sun." That seems so fun. Oh, look at that. We really can see the sparkles. Oh, that's amazing. Having a little trouble with the aha. There we go. You see it sparkling? So that is where the stone has deposited in crystal. So it has a crystalline structure. And that crystalline structure in the molecule allows the structure to reflect light. You can see all of these little areas here that were part of the structure of something living. And over here, I love that you can look at this, and it really kind of gives you the sense of maybe looking at some type of modern day organism, like maybe a coral, or almost it sort of looks like a bit of a mushroom happening here. So you really have the sense that although this is a piece of stone, oh wow, you can even see the sparkles here. Even though this is a piece of stone that we're looking at, and it hasn't been living recently, we still kind of have the sense of this having connection to some type of a multicellular organism that was working together to create a structure. And I love, oh, look at all the colors here. You can see, there it is, sparkling. It's a really beautiful one. Oh, I'm so happy that this one, that I added this to my collection. See, in there you can see all the tiny pockets where there was once life. All right, I am very excited. Here comes some more unboxing, and these are coming from LakeMichigan Fossils. And this is a set that I purchased. And what I really like about this set is that it really kind of shows the diversity of the sorts of things that we were seeing at the time when these fossils were formed. So we weren't seeing just a single monoculture of anything. We were seeing a lot of different types of organisms that were getting into the fossil record. So this is a chain coral, and if I remember, this was really pretty cool. So on here you can see the coral was formed, and it makes little tiny chains. So they were connecting together in these chains. Here they are in the stone where you can see them. And so this is the stone that was forming around it at some other time, and you can see that the coral was forming these beautiful little chain shapes. That's really interesting. Uh-oh. Oh, it feels really cool. I love this. And you can see how they're all interconnected there. All these little chains branching into each other. This one here. You can see I'm doing this in my car. I'm waiting for my son to finish up his art class. So I had a few minutes. This one is a pipe organ coral. We'll open that up and have a look. Ooh. Okay, so this, you can see those same kind of structures, those little round bits. But in this case, they're pipe organ coral. They're not in those chains so much. And they're creating these kind of pipes, which makes me wonder if these are at all similar. I actually picked up some pieces of fossil at a show. They were kind of giving these out, and my kids were all excited. They were grabbing them. And so this was maybe another type of pipe structure. So I wonder if these are in some way kind of connected by organism type. So I love that you can see that they have so many similarities and yet so many profound differences. So here they're starting to kind of come together, but they're not really making an organized chain. So I'm still very much a novice about all of this, but I'm teaching an Earth and Space Science class, which has given me another opportunity to kind of get into and get excited about another whole area of science. This one's a horn coral. There we go. We'll open this guy up. Show what I'm about to see. Aha, all right. So this actually, it really does look like a horn. It looks like it might have been the horn of an animal, but this is actually a coral. You can see it forming in this kind of horn shape. And there's all those tiny structures down there. Oh, that's so cool. See those little kind of gaps, little spots. You can see kind of the outside boundary of the little individual formations. This is another Petroski stone as part of that collection. I think there was 6 in the collection. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, like 6. So here's another Petroski stone. We'll unbox this and grab it. And this one's just beautiful. You can see all those details. That's phenomenal. Look at that. It's almost like you can imagine that organism. They look kind of like barnacles, maybe even. And here's some more detail there. See the central one. More of those structures over on the back. 2 more to go. There you go. So this is a brachiopod. So this is a different type of structure that we're going to be looking at. There it is. That kind of has like a bivalve look to it, like maybe an early shell sort of thing. I almost feel like I could find that on a beach today. It's separated by so many years, and yet still has kind of a recognizable structure, which is just phenomenal. See there where it's kind of, or it might have been connected together at one point. That's really cool. And here's the last one. This is agate, maybe? Agate favicite. So we've already saw one favicite. It was kind of a interesting structure. And here we are. Oh. Yep, there it is. We can see all those kind of divots in the stone. Here you can see some, that does look kind of like the formation maybe of some agate. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm new at this, so if I'm saying something that's not entirely true, as I'm trying to kind of get a handle on what I'm looking at, that is something I'd love for you to let me know, because I have yet to go look all of this up. And I'm excited to see what else I'm going to understand from that. So actually that one, it's a little bit like a stone I picked up around my neighborhood. And down here in Texas, there's actually a lot of calcium carbonate. And so this is one that I picked up, but I don't really know anything about it because I haven't gone looking for much. But this was picked up down here where there used to be some oceans. So even though this is Texas and I'm getting all of these stones from Michigan, you can still see some very similar structures. So in the prehistoric oceans everywhere, we were seeing a lot of the same kinds of things developing, and early animals and early plants and early organisms were trying out a lot of the same sorts of things, or maybe there was some overlap between the oceans that allowed some of this similar looking thing to happen. So even though this was separated maybe by years, maybe by land in between, you can still see that many of the same types of designs resonate. And that's one of the beautiful things about nature, is that you continue to see designs overlapping and happening again. So this is actually another one where you can see that same sort of small fan structures. This is another one that I don't know all that much about. It's about time for me to go probably figure it out. You can see that same sort of fan or feathery looking thing inside and circles all together. So that's one that I want to find out more about.